Hello. So now let me talk about the retail giant sales forecasting case study. It's basically time series analysis. So the background, the business problem we are trying to solve here is there is a online store, Global Mart. It is having worldwide operations. It takes orders and delivers across the globe and deals with all the major product categories like consumer, corporate, and home office. Now, this store wants to finalize the inventory management plan for the next 6 months. So, our objectives of this analysis are one, we have to find out the most profitable market segments for the company. Not only profitable, it should be consistently profitable. And for those consistently profitable segments, we have to forecast the sales and the demand for the next 6 months so that the revenue and the inventory may be managed accordingly. So this is the problem and these are the objectives. So this analysis we divided into four parts like data understanding, finding out the most consistently profitable segments, and forecasting sales and demands for each of these profitable segments, and then finally recommendations for inventory management. So the data we received for the analysis has 24 attributes, and the important ones are like order date. Obviously, we are forecasting, and the date is will be the most important attribute, and then segment and market, because the combination of these two will capture the whole customer population, and then sales we are forecasting it, and quantity and profit. And we got another 18 uh, more variables. So these two attributes, market and segment, market attribute has 7 factor levels like Africa, Asia Pacific, Canada, Middle East, European Union, and two more. Uh, so this represents the geographical market sector that the consumer belongs to. And also the segment attribute tells us which of the three segments the customer belongs to, and the three are consumer, corporate, home office. Hence, this entire customer population of Global Mart can be divided into 7 into 3, 21 market segments, right? So now we have to come up with the two most consistently profitable consumer market segments out of these 21. So the metric we used to decide the profitability is coefficient of variation, because it should be consistently profitable. So we can find out the profitable by using mean, and we can find out the consistency uh, based on the standard deviation. So the coefficient of variation is standard deviation divided by mean, and it should be as high as possible, right? The higher the COV, the consistently profitable the market segment is, because the numerator is standard deviation, it should be less so that the value will be high, and the mean value should be as high as possible, right? Sorry, the lower the coefficient of variation, the higher the segment is profitable, right? It's vice versa. So low COV implies high mean sales. It also implies that these two segments are the most profitable since which APAC consumer and EU consumer, those two are the most profitable ones. So we are done with finding out the most profitable ones based on the low COV value. Now we forecasted the sales and demand for APAC, Asia Pacific consumer sales. So for Asia, we use the classical decomposition method and auto-ARIMA method. We fit both of these models to our data. For Asia Pacific consumer sales, classical decomposition method looks like it has done a relatively decent job, and the ARIMA fit looked like predicting a straight line, and that it was underestimation. However, MAP value was listed for ARIMA. For EU consumer sales, it looks like both ARIMA and classical composition were underestimating the value, but the MAP was indicating that ARIMA is better. For APAC consumer demand series, both ARIMA and classical decomposition did fine job, but ARIMA has lower MAP value. For EU consumer demand, classical decomposition and ARIMA both did not do well, but based on MAPE value, ARIMA did somewhat better job, I can say. So the general trend was like in both EU consumer time series, there was an underestimation. EU consumer demand time series, it looks like ARIMA fit is a better fit because of lower MAPE value. However, for Asia Pacific consumer sales time series, the ARIMA fit did not look like it did a good job. Also did not capture the seasonality, so we thought it should not be used. However, the classical decomposition method has at least got some of the components right. We thought maybe we can use that. So the recommendations are, so the two most profitable segments are APAC and EU consumer segments. So items corresponding to these segments should be kept more in stock. And regarding the inventory levels should be kept as predicted by ARIMA model, which is around 400 units for the case of EU consumer segment, since ARIMA's model predictions had a lower MAPE value. However, the classical decomposition method should be used for predicting inventory requirement for APAC consumer segment, as it is the only one of two that is able to capture the seasonal behavior, right, and demand also. But in general, a buffer of at least 25% to 20% should be kept on inventory levels because none of the models was used extremely accurate. And the lowest MAPE value was 26.24. So these are the recommendations. This is all about analysis. Thank you.